So guys, while the market is moving sideways, we will return to the TA a little bit later in the end of the video. Just look at the sum of the news about the in the space of cryptocurrencies, and what is happening is a lot of people are talking excited about the new phone from Samsung Galaxy S10, which is rumored to be having the pre-installed wallet, crypto wallet with some maybe Bitcoin option for trading and something, at least for holding. And they say that it should boost Bitcoin adoption because millions of people will have this app in their phone and will say, oh, what is that? And they will find out about crypto, about Bitcoin, and so on. And also the legitimacy of cryptocurrencies will increase because of that. So interesting news, Forbes. So pay attention, guys, although don't be overhyped. Another thing, you know that there are Bearish or Crypto Garage, sort of the organization which is participating in this process and have a partnership with the what is that? The Blockstream, and they do the tests of atomic swaps using the Japanese yen-backed stablecoin, and they claim that it must happen simultaneously, which is really cool. So as you see, in the period of stagnation, a lot of development in the space is happening. Well, interesting to observe. Their ICO was made in the way that their tokens are securities, while Kick thinks now we're not securities, and they even are agreed to go to the court and defend their rights. So similar things happen with XRP, although there is no such like really accusing from SEC. They just stated maybe they need to register their program a little bit more in official way, but so we'll see how it will evolve. A lot of securities, well, a lot of ICO tokens claims that they're not securities, and there was some things about similar things about the Ethereum statement that it was say that okay, Ethereum was not security from the regulatory point of view, but probably huge players will not be fined or something, but the small ones, those which have too much of the greed and violating the general rules, general narrative of the regulatory perspective, they probably will be slapped on their hands and have some fining action. So we'll see how it will evolve. Interesting to observe again. Another thing is, if you remember, I think Forbes has a lot of the articles about what is cryptocurrencies, what about the advantages and why everybody are so interested and why it's so cool to use Bitcoin and so on. And it basically means that, as I said before, that huge mass media is starting to having new people in the media in the space, like for new investors, new traders who don't know yet or don't know much yet about cryptocurrencies, and they want them to enter the space to provide new liquidity and to rid them of their money, of course. But it means that the new wave of hype is somewhere around the corner, and another one, Business Insider, started to also do the same things. You see the article, well, actually that's referring to their guide to cryptocurrencies, sort of comprehensive as they stated. So we'll see, although there is a clear sign that something huge new wave is coming. Another things from Forbes, and why I'm referring to this paper is nothing special, but just the topic. You see, it's everywhere in the titles of articles about the Tron. Tron is a new rocket. It is going to the moon, and yada yada yada. The thing is, everybody are waiting for their BitTorrent token sale or airdrop and something from Tron, and that makes people believe that the price will go high, and this is basically the major sentiment. But Tron, as well as XRP, has huge and a great marketing team, so they are basically doing great work to promote their coin, I wouldn't be overexcited about that. As you know, Tron is sort of controversial coin with this white paper, which was more or less stolen from the other projects. And well, it's again, it's controversial, but again, people don't fall too much in FOMO because of the hyped happen around this. At least be careful. So and this candle, so we see down, up, down, and we're trying to sort of shake out people who are trading in the channel. Very conservative and very sort of silent behavior of the market. But the thing is, as the longer we stay here, the longer we are in this sort of narrow channel, the stronger the move will happen after that. So you see that 3 weeks of the sideways price action over here led to quite of the drop. So we may see something similar if you will continue to trade in this area. And I must notice that, sorry, I must mention that although the whole market is pretty much going sideways with a little decline and sort of aiming to the new low, and everybody is sort of semi-bearish, there are some examples of the altcoins which are doing pretty well, and one of the altcoins is Holochain. Time of trading after the listing, basically Holochain didn't have a lot of the dip. It was traded sideways, and just recently, just give me a second, the chart will appear. It was trading sideways just recently. We have had this sort of rise, and it started to be parabolic on the huge volume. So a lot of people are excited, and we look at the Binance, which is the primary, the major trading platform for Holochain or HOT. And what you see is that first, from the conservative point of view, it's really hard to go against the market when the whole market is stagnant or it is going down even a little. It's really hard to make such a huge move from, you see, from 20 to 44, when actually before it was like maybe even 10 satoshis, if I'm not mistaken, or something. Not 10, like at least 11, yeah, 11 satoshis. Now it made 44 satoshis per one coin, so it's 4x. Such a strong move with pretty much a parabolic behavior usually leads to dump, and that is pretty much everything which we shall expect. However, I must mention, sorry, that Holochain at that point shows pretty much, if you will zoom in, pretty much confident behavior. First, we have, for example, this initial low level, then we are trading sideways. We're making pump sideways, pump sideways, pump sideways. It's not even the corrections; those are correlations. Not the correlations, the consolidations. And if you would have the drop like 30-50% from that, then you would say, okay, we're about to dump it back to the previous level. But we are after every pump, we are continuing to trade pretty much sideways, and also huge volume is observed only at the pump. The rest of the sideways trading, it is pretty much flat, much lower volume. So it means that people who are buying at this during this period, they are not selling during the flat period, which is pretty promising. So we'll see. Although the whole market is really pessimistic right now, maybe we can see the same behavior of the previous stagnation periods when such projects as Ethereum, as Neo, as XRP happen, and we may see a new leader of the coin market cap happening. So we'll see. So far is really, really promising, but don't forget it's quite of the dangerous to hope for some mooning while everybody are falling. The same thing is happening with the coin NPXS or PandaX, and I made a review recently about their distribution of new tokens, function X. So a lot of hype about it, and recently, as you remember, maybe and PandaX was had quite of the dump after very promising very high period when everybody were so excited about this, and then they had a dump, and eventually recently we found a bottom and we started to go with a high volume. And again, it shows pretty much the same behavior as holochain. Of course, this is sort of very low Satoshi's value, so the discrete movement of the price, but still you can see sort of sideways up, sideways up. So we may expect that it would lead to quite of the similar behavior as the holochain. Not a financial advice as usual, guys. We might expect actually the drop instead of the continuing of the rise, but if the Bitcoin will go up, then that may be the point where we see some real gains, right? Really nice movement. We'll see how it will behave, but so far I would be really cautious about the market as a whole. And although some of the coins are doing well, as Tron again, as those holochain and PandaX, still it's really dangerous right now. Although, as you may see in the end of this video, there will be a link around here about why I'm thinking that the price will not go lower than, let's say, $1,000, or even unlikely that will go too low. But so far it's still, there is a high chance that will go much lower from that point. Although again, I'm pretty bullish. I'm more bullish than bearish. And for example, if you look at the longs, you can see that longs are actually started to decline, and shorts instead are starting to rise. So this is a sign that maybe the market will be turned back to be bullish when we may finally go up and cut those short orders, and while the longs were not so many longs will be there. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully it was useful. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow in the next update. Goodbye.